Hey there, I'm Matt, co-founder at Helpt.
And I'm David, co-founder at Helpt.
And this is the Cool Kids Table.
This isn't your typical industry podcast. Each month, we sit down with MSPs, vendors, and channel pros to swap stories, share real insights, and have a little fun.
You'll get expert takes along with sports debates and some class clown moments. It's part grade school nostalgia and part real talk about what's going on in business.
No scripts, no sales pitches, just a real lunchroom conversation.
So grab your tray and let's hang out at the Cool Kids Table. Welcome to the Cool Kids Table podcast. I am Matt, one of the founders here at Helpt, and I'm hosting with my co-founder, David.
Hey, everybody. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Dean Trempelas, the head of customer success, MSP growth. Crap, Dean, what is your title? And what are you doing at Empath these days?
My title is head of MSP success. It is a made-up title for a made-up department because it's a little bit of account management, a little bit of traditional customer success, a lot of enablement, sales engines, a bunch of nonsense. So it's a made up title.
Okay. So what are you doing? What are you focusing on when you're there?
Educating and enabling MSPs to help their staff grow, become more productive, have meaningful careers. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. Like organizations like yours, I would love to be able to come to an organization like Help someday and just say, you can hire anybody. And all the training you need for that person to be the best version of themselves at your organization in a way that'll make you delighted. We got you covered, buddy.
That's awesome. I love that.
You know, this is the Cool Kids Table. Back when you were in high school, what table were you sitting at?
I was not a cool kid, so I was a bit of a clown slash smart guy. I was not a jock. I did the running sports like track and cross country where the not jocks go.
So was there like a class clown table, or you were the one just kind of the jester going around entertaining everyone?
Yeah, the losers table.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so thinking back to those days, you clearly remember so fondly. What's the best food in your high school cafeteria?
Well, you've just opened a wound. I didn't get to eat school lunches. My parents didn't believe in that, so I never got to have our awesome flatbread pizza or sloppy joes. I had to eat a homemade lunch and things like carrots and raisins.
So now you've got the agency of choice for yourself. What's in your lunchbox today?
I'm glad you asked, dramatic foreshadowing person, because I had my lunchbox right here. Look at this, all new, the Cool Kids Table lunchbox. It slices, it dices, it makes julienne fries, and for only 3 payments of $29.95, it too could be yours, kids. Buy now. In my amazing lunchbox, the 2 things I loved the most, I'd always get Mott's apple juice, and because we didn't do candy in my household, because why would we do anything fun? Instead, I got sun-made raisins.
Okay.
You really hurt me on this call, Matt. You're pointing out what a terrible childhood I had.
Tell me more about the things you lacked in your childhood.
This isn't a therapy session. Dean, do you have any idea what we're actually going to do today?
I think I heard something about trivia, and there was something about a physical challenge, and I had to conquer the Legend of the Hidden Temple.
No, none of, none of those things, just not the last 2. So we are going to do a Jeopardy style trivia.
Let's roll. What do you pick first?
Well, let's start with my weakest category. Let's start with jock, and let's go jock for 400.
What's the most memorable Super Bowl commercial? Budweiser's Waza, Snickers, You're Not You When You're Hungry, Volkswagen's The Force, or none of those?
The only one of those I remember from Super Bowl is Budweiser's What's Up. So I'm going to say, what is Budweiser's What's Up?
Fantastic. And you're in an area where you've seen a lot of your hometown in the Super Bowls. Have you not been watching the Super Bowls recently, in the last decade, maybe?
I wore a Red Sox hat for a reason, and I debated even putting this on. It's not been happy times in New England. We were the chosen ones for 20 years. We were the chosen ones, Anakin. We even had the high ground.
I have the high ground.
Let's do jock for 500.
Ooh.
Big. All right, you've got a reputation for boosting team morale. Out of these iconic sports movies, which one fires you up the most? Coach Yost in Remember the Titans, Rocky Balboa, or Coach Brooks in Miracle?
I don't like any of these.
Oh, okay, well then go off script. Give us an other.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, Gordon
It's a good
Bombay.
choice. Quack.
Yeah.
Quack.
Quack. Let's go. Let's do class clown for 400.
Which of these sitcom characters do you most identify with? Michael Scott from The Office, Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec, Ted Lasso from Ted Lasso.
I love watching Michael Scott. I would choke him to death. So probably Leslie Knope. I'm not that enthusiastic, but if you like Parks and Rec, Leslie is actually a pretty Machiavellian character. She will do what she needs to do to get at the outcome she wants, and the entire time with a pleasant smile. There's a little bit of Dwight Schrute in me.
What's the best prank that you've played on somebody?
I had an employee that would not go to lunch on their lunch because they wanted to keep working, and they didn't care. The end users needed help, and obviously there's liability issues there, and it's also not great for morale. So when they left the room, I disassembled their entire workstation into individual pieces, hid it all over the office, wrote up a multi-part quest, gave scripts to different people in different offices to be NPCs, and made this person spend 3 days going around solving asinine puzzles to slowly reacquire all the parts of their workstation, all while still telling them that they had to maintain their KPIs and required tickets.
Oh.
I enjoyed that prank quite a bit. All right, give me Overachiever 500.
Empath's an upskill platform for MSPs. What's something most MSPs majorly need upskilling on?
How to help your employees upskill. Seriously, most MSPs that I've met were not trained how to manage other people ever. They just started businesses because they wanted to do something. One of the main reasons Empath exists, and probably the single biggest thing I see, is how to actually manage and enable other people.
So there's a cost to training. I mean, time, resources, what have you. What's the trade-off of bringing in somebody who's a finished product ready to go versus somebody that you need to train up and upskill?
There is no such thing as a finished product ready to go yet in our industry. When our industry is either independently regulated or has enough implied standards from like insurance and other things, that'll probably change. It really isn't a thing. So the trade-off is retrain somebody who knows nothing but is infinitely malleable, or retrain somebody that is already used to being a senior level role who probably doesn't really want to be retrained, even if they're pleasant.
We call that stinking thinking where we're from.
I like it. Let's do Overachiever for 100.
You can only keep 2 social media platforms for work. Which 2 do you choose?
Ooh, that's easy. And some advice to anybody listening. My market is MSPs. That's going to be LinkedIn and Facebook. Since MSPs are not on Instagram and they're not on Twitter, so stop marketing to them on Instagram and Twitter. If you are an MSP and you're marketing to end clients, it's different.
There's You're also a pretty big Redditor, though. So how does
Reddit's not social media.
Facebook? Is that too much of the old folks? Is too many grandmas on Facebook?
That is literally why Facebook is a good one to use, since your ICP's buying persona is probably between 30 and 60, and that's probably all they use.
And I suppose you don't ever use YouTube either.
You what? What now?
Yeah, exactly. Can you do a TikTok dance for us? Bonus points for that.
Let's do Class Clown for 300.
Empath's mascot is an elephant with the pun, "Don't be irrelevant." Rate your favorite types of humor, 1 being the best and 5 being the worst. Puns, deadpan comedy, sarcasm, physical comedy, and self-deprecation.
So physical comedy would definitely be 5 at the worst. It is the lowest form of comedy. I'm a huge fan of sarcasm, so I'll put sarcasm at number 1, followed very closely by deadpan comedy, because I like my British comedy. And then I do like self-deprecation as a vehicle, so give that number 3. And I respect the pun, but if we're ranking it in terms of like quality as well, puns are sort of a lower tier of comedy, unless you're a dad, in which case you're at a level of understanding that the rest of us could never fathom. And I respect the dad pun game. I guess Class Clown for 500. I mean, I might as well stop avoiding it.
You're known for spicy Monday posts. What's a recent one that got a bigger reaction than normal? Whether that was laughs and agreement or upset opposition.
Spicy Mondays are interesting. They don't always do well right away. Sometimes they do better over time. The esoteric ones are harder for people to grasp. The one that I did this week, going through some of the Tales from Tech Support, rules of tech support, where I talked about rule 1, users lie.
Everybody lies.
I did not expect that to do well, and that's actually gotten quite a bit of traction. So they surprise me sometimes. That was one that definitely did better than normal.
Was it because people feel validated hearing that, or do they disagree?
I don't really get a lot of that kind of feedback, so I'm going based off of view count and sort of like the number of new people and repeat people that have looked at it on LinkedIn and YouTube. And a lot of people have watched it. They could have been very offended. They might have been totally in agreement. I won't know until I run for Emperor of the World and I get their votes or don't get their votes. All right, Overachiever 400.
Long before you were described as a maestro of IT strategy, you were a DJ for school events. What was your favorite beat to drop that got the crowd going?
I did a lot of middle school events specifically, but Peaches and Cream by 112 or Pony by Genuine, which you have to be real careful in a room full of parents with.
That's totally fair. So now we're going to go into, because the time's up, we're going to go into the mystery lunchbox question.
Where it's Final Jeopardy style. You choose how many points that you want to wager. And believe you have 3,200 points.
Put them all down. We're doing a true Final Jeopardy here. We're not goofing around. I'm either going home crying or in a Ferrari.
What was the very first video ever played on MTV?
Video killed the radio star.
Video killed the radio star indeed. I knew that. I wouldn't have known that it was the Buggles. Would you have known it was the Buggles?
I would have known it was the Buggles, and sadly, I know many of the lyrics and could probably karaoke along with it, which I will not do.
Well, we can edit that out and then you can do it anyway.
I'm going to use my points to buy a better version of... I brought one of my old Matchbox Ferraris from when I was a kid in my lunchbox, so to get a real Ferrari version of this.
Because you were doing your whole Magnum PI thing?
I was not that smart. I really should grow that mustache out.
I'm just saying.
I'm growing out the hair. I mean, it's getting kind of long. I mean, I'm eventually going to be able to be full Tom Selleck, and I will make grandmas weep everywhere.
Love it.
I'm into that.
What do you feel is the worst sequel or remake that no one's asked for in the last 10 years?
You know, in my childhood, I loved all the Disney movies. I mean, Aladdin, the Aladdin soundtrack, I feel like I could just go and sing myself. Especially, you know, rest in peace, talk about comedians, Robin Williams. So I would say that the remakes now of movies that were not that old, that were great, that haven't really aged poorly. So something like a cartoon like Aladdin, what's the benefit of recreating it? And when you're going to recreate something, I think there's always an argument that if you're going to recreate something that should have been good, that just kind of misfired. Don't recreate something that was a classic when you really have no angle to improve on it. Nothing against Will Smith, but the genie with Robin Williams was just incomparable.
Aladdin is one of my favorite OG animated Disney movies and a fantastic Sega Genesis game.
What remake are you most looking forward to? And I ask that having an answer of my own, so I can go first. As a child, didn't really love the movies, but one of my favorite TV shows was, Dean's nodding his head, I assume he knows what I'm talking about, Adrian Paul's Highlander. There can be only one. Henry Cavill is now, I believe, redoing the movies, but he's going to be the new Highlander. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully they pull in, I forget the movie guy's name, and Adrian Paul to be Highlanders along with him.
Awesome. Deep cut there, man.
All right, so you end up with 6,400 points.
I'm not really sure how I won points since none of these questions really seem to be right or wrong.
Well, we're the judges and we give you the points, so you're welcome.
You're very generous judges, and I appreciate that. This is the nicest experience I've had in a lunchroom in 40-something years.
Remember, this isn't a therapy session. Dean, where can we find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Most places I'm Dr. Zoidberg.
What's the story behind the Dr. Zoidberg?
So it originally came from, I need to be able to post, you're doing it wrong, here's how to do it, but not get your hackles up from a stranger on the internet doing that while still being anonymous, because I didn't want to get my small MSP in trouble. So I went with my favorite character from Futurama, Dr. Zoidberg, because if you haven't seen the show, Dr. Zoidberg is the comic relief, kind of the dumbest character on the show, but also secretly the most important, most intelligent character on the show when it's important. So I started doing stuff under the persona of Dr. Zoidberg, because who else but Zoidberg? It was really just a way to post snarky, helpful content without getting my head bit off, and it kind of worked. So I stuck with it. That's it. The whole story.
You've survived the lunchroom chaos. You've earned your seat at the cool kids table. Congrats, and thanks for being here with us.
It's nice to finally be at a popular table that I can eat my sun-made raisins at instead of, you know, crying in the corner of the lunchroom.